just about 6 o'clock, taking a live look outside at the roads right now. And overnight we received some light snow, and it doesn't seem to be super icy right now outside. But you can see traffic seems to be moving along pretty smoothly, but just be careful just in case, because some of those roads can still be pretty slick. Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on Up with KREM. I'm Channing Curtis.
Glad to have you here with us on this Thursday morning. I'm Tim Pham. Well, as Channing said, we did see some snow overnight, but could we be getting some more snow? That's the question.
That is the question. So let's get right to meteorologist Jeremy Lagoose. So Jeremy, what can we expect as we're heading into the weekend almost? Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's Friday Eve, isn't it? Friday Eve, happy Friday Eve, everybody. It's February 3rd, and that means we've got a break in the action. I don't know what that means. I was just making that up. It doesn't actually mean anything. We've got a beautiful day in store. 20 degrees right now, cloudy skies and fresh snow on the ground. But with temperatures staying down below freezing for a bulk of the day, I think the snow on the grass kind of sticks around. The snow on the roads just turns into a sloppy mess. My pro tip for today, have the windshield washer fluid topped off. You are going to need it. It's one of those days where we got the snow, but it turns into road spray as things start melting. That's official. That's what we call it, road spray. So there you go. We've got a little bit of cloud cover lingering, and those clouds kind of stick around through the remainder of the day. For the most part, we are dry. You're going to see a couple of stray snow showers in the northern Rockies, a few snow showers and even some rain over the Cascades. But then, well, it's all about the clouds as we get our next push of moisture, and that arrives late tomorrow. And right now, forecast models are suggesting snow coming up. I'm going to let you know why I think it's a rain-snow mix for us here in Spokane. But to get you out the door, here's how it goes. Temps near 20 this morning, climbing to near freezing this afternoon. Clouds all day.
Some breaking news just in. We do have one school delay to report this morning. Pullman Public Schools will be delayed 1 hour today due to snow and icy roadways. The preschool programs are also canceled. So we'll keep you updated if any more schools delay or cancel classes today.
It sounds like an eternity, and for all of us that have been going through this every single day, it feels like an eternity sometimes, but we're not there yet.
Earlier this week, Providence Sacred Heart says that they saw a record number of COVID-19 cases, and Dr. Frank Velasquez says that Eastern Washington is still in an upward swing. Health officials say the light at the end of the tunnel is coming, but that COVID will not go away overnight. Dr. Velasquez says that it will take some time before COVID becomes less of a daily threat. While people may be experiencing pandemic fatigue, and wearing masks and getting vaccinated will help prevent the spread of COVID in our communities.
Every bit we as a community, members of the community, can do to prevent one more case in schools, one more case in hospitals, one more case in a long-term care facility, one more case wherever it may be, is important for us to remain diligent.
According to the Washington Department of Health COVID-19 dashboard, western counties are seeing a decrease in the rate of COVID cases. Dr. Velasquez says the eastern side of the state usually follows western Washington trends a few weeks later. In the meantime, the Spokane County Board of Health says that they've chosen 3 candidates to potentially join the board. However, none of these candidates are medical doctors. The board asked for new applicants after a new law in Washington passed last year. It requires local health district board members to include an equal number of elected and unelected representatives. So that means that the board can't be made up of more than half politicians. We have learned that none of these recommendations are medical personnel. So the 3 recommendations include Alicia Policani, who is a naturopathic doctor. She's being recommended as the public health representative. Next, they're recommending Christopher Patterson as the consumer of public health representative. And finally, Charlie Duranona is being recommended as the community stakeholder representative. The Spokane County Board of Commissioners is set to vote to appoint these nominees next week.
It is time now for your morning rush. More news in less time. The Washington Department of Labor and Industry says they've received 6 complaints regarding Spokane Councilman Jonathan Bingle. It was recently revealed that Bingle refuses to wear a mask at City Hall. The agency sent 2 letters to the city notifying them of the complaints. L&I says they'll be reaching out to Bingle and the city human resource administrators. Happening today, the Washington Coalition for Accountability will address policing rollbacks. There are current legislative efforts to roll back protections enacted last year to reduce violence and discriminatory policing. The new legislation seeks to lower the standards for when officers can use physical force. Workers at the Hanford Nuclear Reservation started the first large-scale treatment of radioactive and chemical waste from large underground storage tanks. For decades, the site made plutonium for the U.S. atomic bomb and is most radioactively contaminated site in the nation's nuclear weapons complex. The newly operational system removes radioactive waste stored in the tanks at Hanford. Washington has its first black male senator in more than 3 decades. John Lovick was first elected to the House in 1998. He is the first black male to serve in the Senate since Senator George Fleming retired in 1991. Snohomish County Council members voted to have Lovick replace Senator Steve Hobbs after he was appointed Secretary of State last year. The Kalispel tribe has reclaimed a portion of their traditional homeland. The Moose Mountain parcel is estimated to be 75 acres located at the west shore of the Pack River Delta. The Kanisku Land Trust, who manages the land, says they recognize the value in returning the mountainside to its original caretakers. And that's a look at your morning rush.
A new survey shows that business owners in downtown Spokane have growing concerns about safety. Almost 400 businesses took part in a survey. So this morning, KREM 2's Nicole Hernandez is live downtown with more on what businesses want from the city. Good morning, Nicole.
Good morning, Janning. So we have business after business here, from restaurants to novelty shops here in the core of downtown Spokane. But a recent survey shows that some downtown Spokane business owners say downtown safety is actually driving customers away. So the Downtown Spokane Partnership sent out a survey to local business owners. 6 out of 10 say homelessness is the biggest issue. Only a third think the city is on the right track. Businesses listed a bunch of different other concerns like crime, violence, drug addiction. Most of the businesses said crime has either lowered their property values or how many customers they see. Now, we talked with someone who works downtown about what it's like every day.
We've had customers that have had, instances with their cars and stealing stuff out of their cars, breaking windows and stuff like that. A few times, homeless come in, and we used to keep a tip jar right in our front desk right there, and they would come in, run out, and run off with it.
Now, based on the survey, the Downtown Spokane Partnership is suggesting some new policies. They want the city to have more emergency shelters, social services, drug treatment, and create a more structured system for people with mental illness. Of course, a lot of this feedback I mentioned is negative, but the majority of business owners say they still are optimistic about downtown Spokane's future. And one other thing Filippo mentioned that is another issue is parking. He says expensive parking at meters and in garages is actually making it harder for people to work downtown and afford it. In Spokane, Nicole Hernandez, KREM 2 News.
A winter storm is headed towards southern and central parts of the country, while President Biden is expected to meet with the mayor of New York City to discuss an issue in cities across the country. We have your daily checklist next.
The one thing to know, you're waking up to snow, and with temperatures staying below freezing all day long, it likely melts on the roadways that get traffic, but be ready for a sloppy morning commute.
In honor of Black History Month, KREM 2 is sharing personal stories of Black people in our community. To continue our series, Let's Talk, our reporter Janelle Finch is sharing her personal experience. So before we go to break, here's a clip of what she has to say.
Being a Black woman, I am making strides every single day to change history. There's so much history that still needs to be changed. And it's exciting to be a Black person and have that opportunity every single day to make my mark on the world.